All right. So I guess now you understand what the plan was.
Absolutely. At Colts Law, we talk Indianapolis Colts football.
We're going to stick to what we know, fundamentals and technique, 1% better every day.
What's going on, Colts Nation? I'm Lawrence Owen. With me, as usual, is my guy, Loyalist. And today, we obviously, everybody's talking about the Colts and the Texans game this weekend, right? And I get that. It's important. I want to discuss it too. But to be honest and straight up, I just want to say, I want to discuss a very important position going into that game, right? And that's the defensive tackles, especially Grover Stewart, because he does not look the same in this scheme as he has the years previous with I can't remember Matt Eberflus's scheme, right? Where he doesn't have to sit there and hold the line and hold his gap and he's still got to take on multiple blockers, but he could use his quickness that his 300-pound plus body can do, and strength, and be able to just squeeze in between guys and get penetration and create havoc in the backfield along with DeForest Buckner now. And that's going to be absolutely huge. Now, pluses, minuses to that. We've seen a little bit of it. We've seen what can happen. But I think overall stat line, this is going to be very beneficial to Grover Stewart stat line wise. What do you think, Loyalist?
Yeah, I do worry about the negative side of this. But as far as getting sacks, as far as getting Grover, and even if he's not getting sacks, you had talked about it in Discord last night. He's in the backfield. You talked about it on Believe. I'm sorry. But he's in the backfield. Okay, now all of a sudden the running back's getting the ball, and the first thing he sees is Grover sitting in his lap behind the line of scrimmage. So that upside to the defense, I love. I'm really nervous about if these teams can start running the ball on us. And there again, that's something that I think Grove, just through that's how he's been playing football his whole life, is stopping the run. And that's not going to go away. So I'm hoping that Grover can have best of both worlds. He can increase in sacks, increase in more TFLs, tackles for loss, but not give up a ton of yards in the process.
Absolutely. Storm Pig in here saying, we hope we don't get gashed with no linemen holding gaps. And that is a specific thing. I think that's what the linebackers in this scheme is set up to do, is clean up, right? Let the defensive linemen create havoc to make the running backs, run around and run for their lives, basically, with guys right in their face. And then the linebackers can then react and make those the cleanup tackles. And it'll take time. I think it's going to take time for the linebackers to adjust to that, rather than having, they're used to seeing open lanes for them to run behind their guys and make the tackles. Now they're going to have to create those lanes on their own, but they'll have that extra, half second to a second to get there, because the running back, obviously he doesn't have the lane he was hoping for to run the football. So I think this is going to be huge for Grover. We saw a lot what can look like against Tampa Bay. Now the Houston Texans is an issue because this is a team who is going to look very, very different than what they did last year. Okay, their offensive line is healthy. Both their tackles. They have a new running back. They've got some other guys out there. I think this is a Houston Texans team that, yes, we beat them 62-3 last year in those two games. Don't expect a shutout here. Okay, don't expect it. But I could see a lot of turnovers by our defense, even with Shaquille Leonard out, as was posted earlier today by the Indianapolis Colts, because when you create havoc in the backfield, when you're back there, crazy stuff happens. right? Especially if you can get there as the ball's being handed off and somebody gets waylaid. Next thing you know, the ball's on the ground because he wasn't able to get it in the basket, right? So this is something that I'm hoping to see a very dominant performance. And if the linebackers can adjust to their scheme properly, this defense could be unreal come, midway through the season, in my thoughts.
Yeah, and the thing is I want to just keep everybody in mind. During the Peyton Manning era, that defense gave up a lot of rushing yards. I don't think that we're going to fall back to that level of regression. But, like you said, if we can do enough in the run game, and then you add in the TFLs and you add in the sacks and stuff, I think that we're still going to be able to move up the overall. Like if you were to measure the defense as a whole, I think this defense is still going to climb that top 5 ranking. You know what I mean? And then you throw in the secondary doing their job. And let's remember, Davis Mills is a second-year quarterback. I like a lot of things that he's brought, but he's not going to like every time he gets the ball and he turns to hand it off, and then all of a sudden, okay, he fakes a handoff and he's got Defoe and Grove just sitting there going, what's your next option, young buck? You know what I mean? And things like that. So I would love that. And then you sit there and you think about in that pass game, if the secondary's giving them a little bit more time, that extra beat. I mean, how many times last year did we hear Grover and Defoe talk about, man, I'm so close, but I'm just not quite there. This year, they're going to have that extra beat to get there.
Yeah. In this situation, they don't have to wait for that, 1.5 seconds for the play action to be done to decide, okay, I'm going after the quarterback. I'm no longer holding my gap. You're going after the quarterback from the get-go. So that's just beautiful in that situation. Because before, when the ball is snapped, you didn't go after the quarterback. You held your gap until you knew the quarterback had the football. And when you ran play action and things of that nature, that's a little bit of time right there. That, especially guys like Grover and DeForest that have that great snap where they get off the snap real fast, they could use that to their advantage now to get the penetration rather than just get leverage, which is what they were using it before in the gap scheme.
Yeah, and I think Grover is going to benefit from this because, let's be honest, Grover's game is imposing his will onto the opponent. Like you said here, that extra beat and a half, that may be the difference of him being at the original line of scrimmage or them resetting the line of scrimmage 2-3 yards back into the quarterback's lap. And like you said, with the combination of speed and strength from Grover, and then you got the combination of speed and length from Defoe. Guys, I'm telling you right now, this Texans offensive line can be like, this ain't what we had last year. I think that could really, really be exciting to see how week 1 and week 2 shake out.
Absolutely. Guys, thanks everybody for joining. Those of you that are in here, especially Tom, Beverly, Brandon, all you guys, Storm Pig, Alex, John, smash that like button, please. Just go ahead and do it now. Get it over with. That way you don't forget. And, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe and share this to your favorite social media so that, obviously it'd be great to have some extra people in here. Thank you. Thank you so much. Also, as you see down in the ticker, there is the donations link. The link itself is in the description of the video. If you want to help support the channel other than just, hitting the like button and sharing, I'd appreciate that. So as we move on, I want to say something first and foremost before we get to move on real quick. Last Friday, we had a donation stream, and again, like normal, Brian Walton comes walking in here after the stream is completely done and dropped $30. So I want to thank you, Brian, as you always do. You're always there and help of support, and we appreciate that a ton. Thank you so much. Now,
real quick before we get into this, I'd also like to give a shout out or a congratulations to Kevin Bowen. He just brought in his new baby boy. Him and Mama Bowen and Rosie Bowen are starting the football season off, and congratulations to them.
Absolutely. And special shout out to Lara Overton for joining Gerard and I yesterday on the Believe in Colts podcast. You could go check that out after you're done here if you haven't already. But it was great. She had a lot of great insight. Colts Texans. Let's get into it. All right. I'm sure that's what everybody is here for. I know that, I listed the Grover Stewart, but that was just the guy, the highlight guy that I wanted to point out for this game. What's another player or position that you're going to be looking very, very closely to this Sunday?
You know me, man. I'm going to be staying in the trenches. I'm really want to see how Matt Pryor holds up against this D line. Matt Pryor, I think between Matt Pryor and Grover, if Grover can slow down the run like we just talked about, and if Matt Pryor can just be the stud that he is in the run game and be serviceable, I'm not asking for him to be, Tarek Glenn or Anthony Costanzo, but if he can just be serviceable in the pass game to where we can still free up our tight ends a little bit, not every play. I know you're still going to want to bring in Big Mo or Jelani Woods to aid out, but if he can just be serviceable in the pass protection, give Matt Ryan the time. And he doesn't need to be a lot. Honestly, I think Matt Ryan, you guys got to watch the game last night. You seen Josh Allen just quick release. I could see Matt Ryan playing a very similar style in this Frank Reich offense. So if we can get that protection from that left tackle spot, and he's going to have a good test. That Texans D line has been reinforced. Now, I know there's a couple injuries where it's looking like Addison and possibly Rashawn Green may not play. That still hasn't been made official yet, but they haven't practiced all week. So they're, but that left tackle, if he can hold up here and this is a great week one game for that. For him and Danny Penner both. This is a great week one game because they're not against the elite of their opponents and stuff, but they're against solid talent that, that they can start cutting their teeth on and working the season out.
I don't know. I mean, Danny's probably going to be going up against Hughes. He's pretty good. Now, he's not the same as he was, back 5 years ago when he was with Buffalo. But, him and Mario Addison are pretty solid guys that they picked up from Buffalo. Hey, real quick shout out. Tracy, appreciate you being in here. Thanks so much. AP's Aquatics, he says, Grove's looking more slim. I'm expecting he's going to go off for sure. Absolutely. And then Brandon, if this team wants to go where they and us believe they can go, they have to beat the Texans easily. Now, I'm not going to say that because week one is where you're not only finding about the other team, you're finding out about yourself, right? Because you're truly going up, truly scheming for the first time against another team, and you're trying to figure out what your team does well against other teams. So this is a bit of a learning experience. Take last night's game, for example. Don't expect the Rams offense to look that bad throughout the entire NFL season. It just is what it is. Defenses are better than the offenses this time of year. It is. Offenses don't get into their stride generally till like week 3, week 4, where they've actually had some time to get things going. So if our offense isn't clicking at 100%, let's not burn down the roof. All right. I still want to win. Don't get me wrong. But honestly, if we win by 3, I'm okay with it because a win is a win and it's week 1. So a win is definitely a win. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And my only thing pushback there is this team, I feel like with their history in the early, I just really, as a fan, just the fan side of it, I agree. The win doesn't matter if it was 1 point, but I want to see a statement made from this team. I want to see a game where they're like, and I do agree. I don't think that the passing game is going to be all that overly dynamic in week 1. But the thing is I do believe, you were talking about Hughes. Danny Pinter is going to have much, I don't want to say easier time, but he's going to have a much more doable time if we're running the ball consistently with JT, because it's so much easier to sit there and run block, especially at that guard position versus the pass blocking. And to me, that's where Danny has struggled, is in the power, you know what I mean, of the pass rushing and stuff. And so if you can get to that where JT's getting a good 4.5 yards of carry in that run game, that's going to go a massive way to taking the pressure off of this offense. And the thing is the pass game, I do agree, is going to take a little more time to gel and stuff. But man, I just really want to see a statement game. I want to see, I don't care what the final is, but I want to see that this game was never in doubt. This game was like, okay, we're starting this season off strong, and here we are. You know, yeah, they may let a garbage touchdown in to where it gets a little closer than what I want, and they don't cover the spread. Then don't bet. It's week 1. You shouldn't bet week 1 anyhow. At least that's what everybody keeps telling me that bets.
Yeah, well, here's the thing, okay? Like I said earlier, defenses are going to look more like midseason form than offenses are. And here's my thing. I'm going to judge the Colts by their defense wholeheartedly. If the Texans score more than 17 points in this game, I'm going to be thoroughly disappointed because of the talent that we have on that. Even with Darius Shaquille Leonard out, you know, we still have umpteen hundred Pro Bowlers, all pros, defensive player of the years on that defense. We should not be giving up more than 3 scores against this Texans offense. That's just my personal opinion. And if our offense can't score over 17 points against Houston, they don't deserve to win. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, you know. So I'm putting that line for the Texans at 17 of a score. I don't want to see them score higher than that.
Yeah, and I've told you, you know, behind the scenes that I think the Texans are going to find it hard, barring a turnover. If the Colts turn over the ball and put themselves in back, I don't know that they could score 14 points on this team. You know what I mean? I really don't, because I do believe that defensive line for the Colts is just going to be an absolute nightmare for this O-line. And I get it. Tunsil's back. You know, I mean, he wasn't there last year. That's enough. You know, that's a win already for them. But the thing is Yannick Ngakoue is just, I want to see Yannick Ngakoue get the ball rolling on the sacks. Let's get in there. Let's get 1 or 2, you know. Yeah, I'd love for Kwity to get in there and get in on the party. But, you know, and like you said, if we can get that interior push, this should be a long game for that second-year quarterback, you know, Davis Mills.
Oh, without a doubt. But Davis Mills arguably was the best rookie quarterback in the NFL last year. Well, let's not forget, a lot of people want to bring up Mac Jones, but Davis Mills had a better touchdown to interception ratio, and he almost threw 67% completions, which is pretty good considering what did he have to throw to? Mm-hmm. Cooks. That's it. Come on now. Yeah. So Davis, do I think he's a superstar quarterback in the NFL? Absolutely not. But he's serviceable. He's very, very serviceable. He's a top 20 in my opinion, compared to, you know, other guys who are starting this week. Like, let's say, who's starting for the Jets? Is it Flacco? Mm-hmm. I think it's Flacco.
Yes, sir.
You know, I wouldn't go there too much. Lawrence mentioned that Houston was going to look different this year, but I think we are too. Teams come to expect JT to run. We have other weapons now also, Trace says. Now, I agree. But again, like I said, and Loyalist, our passing game may not be there, you know, not the dynamic passing game that we're looking for. You might see a lot of the short, quick passes as Loyalist was talking about, and I'd be okay with that. Take advantage of linebackers and safeties creeping up a little bit and just throw right over the top of them, you know, on drags and crossers and scissor routes, things like that. You know, hit them, get those medium 10, 15-yard passes, and that'll back them up just enough to where, you know, Taylor will have room to run, continue, you know. But maybe we're wrong. Maybe Matt Ryan and Michael Pittman Jr. and Paris Campbell and Alec Pierce and Ashton Doolin and all those guys, maybe they are locked in and ready to go, and you have a 400-yard, 5-touchdown day by Matt Ryan. Oh, I would be the first one to start screaming and yelling and jumping up and down on Sunday on my live reaction over that one. I'll tell you that right now. All right. I will be that dude. You don't see me very often. Usually last year when I was doing live reactions, almost all of my big stuff was a big play by the defense or Jonathan Taylor taking it 72 yards to the house, right? That was what I was mostly excited about. But I would love to be able to go, did you just, jump up and start screaming over a little crosser pattern by Paris Campbell who takes it, the distance for a touchdown? That'd be amazing. I would love that. But I still think, like, you're right. I think the Colts could get a lot of turnovers in this game, even without Shaq in this game. And that's going to be fun to watch as well.
Yeah, and to be fully honest, this wide receiving pass catchers, I'm sorry, not just wide receivers, but wide receivers, tight end, they've had a little bit of problems with the drops. I mean, you seen that last night in that game, if you guys got to watch. The first interception Josh Allen threw, by no means was Josh Allen's fault. It literally bounced off the guy's chest. And if that happens, I'm not going to hold that to Matt Ryan. And I understand this young pass catching crew is going to take a little time. But the thing is, we haven't even mentioned Nyheim Hines. I think Nyheim Hines could just be an absolute X factor for most of the games this year, but especially early on. If you can get Nyheim going in the screen game, all of a sudden now, if your pass protection is a little slow on getting up to speed and stuff, you can penalize them because now they're going to start bringing the pressure, and then Matt Ryan can find JT or Nyheim just over that wave of pressure. And all of a sudden, what looked like, oh man, the O-line was falling apart, all of a sudden turned into we've seen it in the Ravens game last year. JT caught a little screen pass and turned it into 80+ yards of magic, and I would argue that Nyheim has that ability equally.
Absolutely. Guys, drop your questions, comments in the chat right now as we're getting ready to go into our ad section. Again, if you want to make sure we get to your question or comment, feel free, use the link in the description for the Streamlabs donations, and we'll bring it up and it'll be instantaneous. I'll tell you that much, or at least within the first minute. All right. But for now, don't forget, check out Newsbreak. Link is also in the description. Dropping a lot of little shorts that we have here, 3-4 minute little quick hitters that I've had here on YouTube. And also I do make Newsbreak specific videos as well. So if you don't want to miss it, make sure you download the app and check it out. This video is sponsored by Newsbreak. Newsbreak is an app used over 1.5 billion times a month by people just like you to get local news via articles or videos by those who are focused on that specific area. People like myself. Just use the link in the description of this video to download it. Then search a city, state, or someone specific, like myself, Colts Law. Then make sure to follow them so you'll get all the news fresh as it comes out. This channel is proudly sponsored by the Backroom Collection. They do beautiful sports canvas art with football, basketball, baseball, and other sports themes. Special orders are accepted and autograph pieces are available. Many Indianapolis Colts sign pieces will be available beginning in November. Just use your discount code CL10 to purchase the pieces you want to spice up your living area. That's CL10. All right. I'm not going to bring it up, Robert, because there is the 3-letter word that I can't put on here, but Colts are going to beat the Houston Texans Sunday. So let's go Colts all the way. I like your attitude. Larry Brown. What's up, Larry? Appreciate you being in here. Hold on one moment because I got to pause for this special identification number. Here we go. Boom. Thank you, Tracy, for the subscription. I appreciate that very, very much. really, really happy that you enjoy this enough to actually subscribe to the channel. Now let's get back to what Larry says. Won't be able to stop Taylor and Michael Pittman Jr. Taylor will have at least 150 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. Pittman's going to have 125 and 2 touchdowns himself. He's got the Colts 37, Texans 13. I'll be okay with that. I would not complain at all. My score literally earlier yesterday, if you watched the Believe, I believe I said 31-17, which is still a 2 touchdown lead. You all right? It's a 2 touchdown win. I like that number. I like your number more. I'll tell you that much. You win by 24 points. That's impressive. That's 4 scores and 7 years ago. All right. Really see how much fun the Colts defense will be. Exactly right.
Yeah. That's the thing. I've been chomping at the bit for this defense to consistently produce. And I honestly believe this week is just the beginning of a lot of really great defensive pressure in that pass game. And we're no longer going to have to sit there and watch these 3-yard pass draw, 3 yards here, 3 yards. I don't think that that's going to be a thing. And as long as that's not, I'll give up some of the rushing. I really will. I don't want to give up too much. I don't want them to be able to control the game. And let's be honest, Dameon Pierce, from what we've seen in preseason and stuff, I mean, he's a rookie starting for an NFL team. He's flashed. He's shown off, so I would just, if we can keep him, I would still love to be able to keep a lot of the running backs that we face, aside from the Derrick Henrys of the world. If we can keep them under 100, that's awesome. That's what, if we can keep these guys, or right at that 100 mark, and then have that defensive integrity in the passing game, especially the short passing game, I think that that's going to be a massive improvement from what we had last year.
What I don't want to see is the Colts take a 24-3 lead at halftime and then blow that shit in the second half. I don't want to see that again this year. Okay. No. We got too much talent on that defense, right? Way too much talent to go, all right, let's back off and play safe. Let's play not to lose. No. Play whatever it is that got you there. Keep doing it. Now, if it's because the offense adjusted, to what you were doing and they're making plays that way, that's one thing, right? That's one thing. That means that you just need to adjust again yourself. But I don't want to see Stephon Gilmore playing 10 yards off the wide receiver. That's not what he's best at. Okay. Period. He is good at bump and run. Go look at what his name is on Twitter. All right. All right. Bump and run Gilmore. All right. That's what he's best at. And he knows it. You know it. I know it. Gus Bradley knows it. The football gods know it. So don't have him play 10 yards off the receiver.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, I would sit there and say Brandon Faison, Kenny Moore, those guys, like you said, outside of Cooks, who is it that you're really looking at and going, oh, no. Oh, I'm all going quiet for a minute.
Hey, Tracy Williams, appreciate the $5. That was very, very appreciative of us and very kind of you. Thank you so much for donating to the stream by using the link in the description. Thank you. Go ahead. Keep going, man.
Oh, yeah. I just honestly, where was I? Oh, outside of Cooks, I look at this receiving core and there's nobody that I'm like, man, you know what? The secondary is going to have their hands full with it today. You know what I mean? Pierce, you sit there and you take away that and make them one-dimensional, or you put the Texans behind on the scoreboard. Now they're going to be playing into, we've said it already, the passing game. If the passing game is not going to be 100% efficient, like we're saying for the Colts, it goes equally, if not more so, for the Texans. You know what I mean? I would argue that the Texans have more question marks in their receiving core and in their quarterback play than what we're going to present. in this week's game. So like I said, I don't even think that this is going to be in doubt, barring some unfortunate turnovers. I think because turnovers are such a weird, quirky thing. You know what I mean? You just can't rely on them. You hope for them, and you can realize that teams are good at it, like the Colts are good at getting turnovers. But I'm not going to sit here and hold my breath saying we need to have 40 turnovers this year to be successful. I don't think that's necessary because of the way this offense is going to be able to be more diverse.
All right, so I am now going to how do I say this, Marquis? All right, I like what you said, but I'm going to say it as though we are on live TV. Okay, Colts Nation, do we lose sleep over the Texans? Hell no, we don't. Texans aren't going to show anything but that bum beep defense. Hell, they ain't that. Beep them. The last beep was very, very big. It should have been more about moo cow. You know, what is that? What's that show where they have animal noises to cover up the curse words? I can't remember. I remember that I having that though.
We'll just give it a good old Phillip Rivers, and we'll just say freak them.
Absolutely. Absolutely 100%. I don't think they're going to show that much, especially week 1. We need to get that. You're Larry dead on point. We got to get the monkey off the back, get that win on Sunday. And then, from there we start stacking, right? Stacking. When was the last time the Colts went 3-0 to start the season off?
I have sitting here I was trying to think, when were we 2-0? You know, I mean, I want to say that wasn't that like 2009 is what, I was just like, it's been a long time.
It has. You're good. You're good, Marky. You're good, man. You're good. That's why I just adjusted, because I'm good at that as well. Right. But yeah, I think 2-0. Here's the issue with that. Looking ahead, kind of hard to do when you want to just win the first one. Get that first one done. Focus on that. Now, us as analysts, absolutely, we can look on ahead. But we need to see what they look like this Sunday beforehand. Yeah, Storm Pig says, dolphin noises. Wait. Dolphin noises. Am I supposed to say Tua or something, instead of the 4-letter word? I use a 3-letter word.
No, you're just supposed to hear dolphin noises. Thud when Tua is throwing the ball and hit the ground short.
Okay. Whoa, Tom, I placed a wager on the Colts game this Sunday. If I win, I'm going to dono $100 to the channel. Dude, I'm going to be on the live stream, so you better. If you win the wager, yeah, you probably got one of those crazy, what is that, like parlays, right? Where, I understand that. I've never bet on a game, and I probably should. If I had the money, I probably would, but I just don't have the money to do that. But every time I have went through those, I think I win more than I lose. Like when I look and see what the betting odds are and I pick them, I'm actually pretty good at it. But I'm one of those people. It's like, I don't have the money to do that, and I'm not going to put the money down and then put myself in a worse situation than I already am in. You know what I mean? SpongeBob. I believe the Colts are going to have a very good season this season. Let's go Colts all the way to the Super Bowl. Robert Johnson. Amen. Tom Williams says, you're right. You know what? Here's the thing. Last year we had someone do the exact same thing, right? He had a parlay, and it wasn't even a Colts game parlay. It was a Rams game parlay, and he won. And he did exactly what you said you was going to do last year. So that was Joe Thornburg. So yeah, that was awesome. He doesn't have the money either.
Tom, you may have some splaining to do.
All right, Brandon, do you have a prediction for any non-starters that could make a big impact in this game? Well, Naheem Hines, that's you want to go with a prediction for him. I'm gonna say he's gonna have we'll go 6 carries, 35 yards, 5 catches for 78 yards, and he'll have a touchdown in there somewhere.
Well, I'm gonna throw a name out at you, okay, and that'll give you time to think about it while I'm talking. Kylan Granson. You know, we were talking about earlier. This team's young and being 1-0 and 2-0. And the thing is, with these young guys, you start building these wins and stacking these wins, and that confidence and stuff, really goes a long way to consistently pushing that. My question is what do you think? Or I have high expectations for Kylan Granson week 1. What are you hoping to see from him that he can build on and just continue that upward trajectory that we saw on the last couple of weeks of training camp?
Well, here's the thing. So apparently what Lara's been telling me is that he has been working with the tight ends coaches a ton, not for receiving, but in blocking.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's gotten way better in the block, which means he's going to see the field more often, right? He's going to be out there a lot since he's gotten so much better at his blocking. I thought he was pretty good at blocking in the first place when he came out out of the draft. And then he's just been focusing on that so much that he's gotten better and better and better. He told us beginning of the year, he said, hey, I asked him, last year you said you were going to take a year off, and that your second year you was going to take over the team, and then he said, yeah, I'll double down on that. And he even hit the table when he said so, just like I just did. So this is a game where you're going to have the opportunities because you'll be on the field.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see you not drop a football. That's all it is. Just don't drop it. I don't care if you have an 80-yard catch for a touchdown, just don't drop the football. Make sure you look it into your hands, use that diamond, place that nose of the football right there so that your hand wraps around it and then bring it into your body. And after that, let your legs do your work, that's fine. But for him to have a good game, no drops, and if he can get at least 4 catches in the game, I think he'll be great.
Yeah, so for me, from the optics of things, because everybody sees the catches and stuff, I think Kylan Granson is going to have more of a dynamic offensive year than Mo Alley Cox, because I think Mo Alley is going to spend a lot of time, doing the Jack Doyle blocking. I mean, let's remember how massively important Doyle was to the run game last year and how many times Doyle set that block up that helped spring JT for those longer runs and stuff. And I really need Mo Alley to stay healthy and to be able to I'm not saying he has to be to the level Jack Doyle was. I mean, Jack Doyle was a consummate pro. He was a vet of vets, you know what I mean? But if Mo Alley can just come in here and make it to where he's still giving JT these windows of opportunity from time to time to bust off a run and stuff, that could go a long way to making that offensive just so more dynamic. Because honestly, I don't know what we're going to get from the tight ends. I just, everybody's talking about receivers. I'm looking at the tight ends. I mean, Mo Alley Cox, he's had trouble playing 17 games. We need him to play 17 games this year. Kylan Granson, like you said, year 1 to year 2, I'm really hoping to see some of that electric plays from him.
Yeah. Film Study drops a question in here. Says, does the AFC have better talent at the quarterback position than the NFC? I'm not even going to answer that. I'm not even going to answer that. I think the NFC's talent at quarterback outside of 3 quarterbacks is overrated. Arizona's quarterback, a little bit overrated, a little bit overpaid. No, I will take that back. A lot overpaid.
Yeah, I was going to say.
A lot overpaid. I think Dak, a lot overpaid, and a little overrated. I like Dak a whole lot more than what I like from Kyler Murray. But Still think he's overpaid. Still think he's a little bit overrated. Now, Aaron Rodgers is a stud. All right, you got to give that to him. Go over to the Rams. Matt Stafford is Matt Stafford. He's going to give you big plays, and he's like Carson Wentz, but he doesn't do the stupid stuff. You know, that's what he's a better passer than Carson. You know, but he doesn't move as well as Carson Wentz. And he's not going to throw left-handed passes. But he is going to throw a no-look pass when he's 2 touchdowns down to throw an interception, like he did last night. So that's, you know, I like Matt Stafford. I think he's an elite. I think he's a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. But he just needs to take what's there at times. And sometimes he tries to push a little bit too far. But
yeah, that top tier in the AFC, there's a lot more in that top tier than you have in the NFC. And I would also argue that when you start going from that level to the second tier, I feel like the quality of play in the AFC is higher there as well. Because, I mean, I know a lot of people are really high on right on. Well, we're going to make a 5-minute bid over it. How's that? Rhetorical or not, you're going to get an answer. But the thing is, you know, I mean, we don't know what the Eagles quarterback, you know, is going to look like. I know Brandon B-Ball is really hoping that he balls out for his fantasy league team and stuff. But the thing is you just don't know. You know what I mean? Yes, you know what he does with his feet, but how good of a passer is he? Okay, you know, even with Lamar Jackson, I would argue he's better with his feet. And if he can get the accuracy, he's shown that he has some arm talent. So like I said, I just tier 1, a lot more in tier 1 on the AFC side than the NFC. Tier 2, I feel like the gap is much smaller versus what you have in the NFC.
Tom says, do you think we'll see Jelani Woods on the field Sunday? Yes. No question. We'll see him. Frank Reich loves 3 tight end sets, especially in short yardage situations. So Jelani's our 3rd tight end. He's going to see the field. Is he going to get a target? I don't know. Maybe. If he gets 1 or 2, that would be like the most I probably expect from him, because really it's going to be the Kylan Grants and Mo Alley Cox show when it comes to the tight ends for the most part. But Frank does love using the 3 tight end sets and has for a long time.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I was reading these messages. But yeah, I agree. You know, Jelani, I mean, first off, Jelani made the roster so that he can get these reps and these opportunities. They understand that, you know, this tight end room is underdeveloped in areas, and these opportunities are going to be very valuable this year. And that's why it was such a disappointment for Andrew Ogletree this year to go down without even having the opportunity to get some snaps in.
Yeah, B-Ball says, now relax. Kyler told everyone he has grown as a player. Look, I want him to grow as a person, okay?
I knew that was coming. How many inches is that, Brandon?
I don't all I want is that whenever I see him, I don't start thinking he's going to sing the Lollipop song from, you know, the Wizard of Oz.
The Lollipop Guild, huh?
Yeah. Will he grow enough to see over the whole line? No, that's yeah. He'd have to be in space so that his spine and then get stretched out like taffy, and that ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen. But hey, Matt Ryan isn't Carson Wentz because Matt Ryan don't make dumb plays like Carson Wentz does. Agreed. Mm-hmm. Absolutely agreed.
And secondly, Matt Ryan is willing to live to fight another day, and I think that's going to be a massive advantage for him. I got a running back over here 4 yards down with nobody 6 yards around him. I'll give it to him and let him do whatever he's going to do, and we'll play that next play. He's not going to be looking 50, 55 yards into triple coverage with a safety coming over and say, that guy is available, and launch it.
Absolutely. So another situation that we're going to be watching really closely, in my opinion, for me coming into this game, is the safeties. Both. All right. Everybody wants to focus so hard on our rookie Nick Cross, which rightfully so. He's made an impact this offseason. But I'm looking over here at Julian Blackmon who, when he's been on the field during regular season games, has been nothing but electric. Okay. Play after play after play after play. And if Nick Cross could show us something similar to what Blackman did his rookie year, only staying healthy, and Blackman can stay healthy, that could be one of the best safety duos in football. And when you come across a defensive line that's meant to go after the quarterback and force him to throw the football early, that leaves things wide open for safeties to make plays. Wide open for safeties to make plays. And that's what I'm really excited and want to see very closely this Sunday.
Yeah, first off, guys, that deserves a smash on the like. So make sure you get in there, smash the like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. But like you said, man, this safety, not this year, guys. When I say this, I'm not looking. I mean, I want them to perform strong this year, but I am telling you, by year 2, year 3 of this tandem, like you said, health is a big thing. You know, Julian Blackman, I mean, the dude heals quicker than most people, but he still has to have time to heal. So let's just avoid that step. Let's avoid the injury. Let's let the heal and the strength just add on to a healthy Julian Blackman. Let's get that Wolverine name out there even more. By the way, guys, even Laura agreed with me yesterday on believing Colts. And then, you know, the thing is Nick Cross. Can you imagine Nick Cross? He doesn't even turn 21 until tomorrow, guys. He turns 21, and he's going to be the very next day on an NFL field playing on one of the, if not the top 5 defenses in the league. I'm telling you right now, this kid is in the right spot with the right, and you add Coach Mitchell into this thing, man, I'm telling you right now, these guys in this secondary, I know this is a Colts team and it's hard to believe, but this secondary could be special. And
absolutely,
we have not had that. I mean, we've had a player here or there, but I mean, I would argue Gilly's going to have a chance to be, you know, the Gilly, Kenny Moore tandem has a chance to be
Gilly
the best.
Moore.
Yeah, has a chance to be the best 1-2 safe cornerback combo that this Colts organization has had since 1984. You know, and the thing is then you add in this young dynamic safety. Goodness gracious. Give it to me, guys, this year. This year, I want to see some of these hopes and some of these thoughts that we've had over the last couple of years for this defense to start shining.
All right, film study. Now, I'm going to give you a little bit of information here because he says, in his opinion, Isaiah Rodgers should be starting next to Gilmore. I'm going to push back on that. And I'm going to tell you why he's not starting next to him, besides the fact that, you know, he's still in, you know, he's just coming out of protocol. So, you know, is what it is. But in training camp, yes, you saw a lot of highlight plays, which you're going to see that. You know, they're going to post highlight plays. And he's had his share of highlight plays throughout training camp and preseason. But what they don't share is the times he gets burnt. Okay? And Faison, he doesn't have the highlight plays, but he doesn't get burnt as much as what Isaiah Rodgers does. I'm going to agree with what Loyalist has said on multiple times, that there's going to be instances where one will be in over the other just because of personnel. You know, what's being lined up on offense. You have a better look for having Isaiah Rodgers on a certain guy rather than Brandon Faison. So, but if you want just a steady overall guy, I thought Brandon Faison did a very, very good job. Again, not a lot of highlight plays, but he didn't give up much. And he was always there contesting catches on passes. So I like what I saw from him, believe it or not, quite a bit, more so than I expected.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, first off, let's remember, you know, it's Kenny Moore and Stephon Gilmore when there's 2 corners out there. Kenny Moore is going to be on that field. Okay, so then you go from that. Okay, now I'm assuming we're talking about when you drop Kenny into the slot and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is Faison has been in this scheme now under Gus Bradley. He understands a little bit more what Bradley is wanting. Isaiah Rodgers Sr., like you said, he's extremely dynamic, makes some really good play. I can't tell you how many times he was in position, but he just didn't make the play because whether it was Michael Pittman Jr. or Paris Campbell. These guys were just fighting for the ball and they were winning those fights. You're not going to do that against a 6'2" Brandon Facyson. He's going to give you more of the stable play. I like to look at this like we are with the quarterback. Isaiah Rodgers is more of a boom or bust like Carson Wentz was last year. Okay. Brandon Facyon's more of the Matt Ryan at that spot. You're going to get more stability. You may not get the dynamic plays, but you're going to get that stable down in, down out. And the thing is Isaiah Rodgers Sr., that's not saying that he can't get there. It's not saying that he won't get his snaps, but he's young. Give him some time in this defense. And like we both have said, those are interchangeable pieces. And when you start getting your cornerbacks where you got the 1 and 2 locked down, and now you're talking about who's your 3 and 4, and they're both interchangeable. Guys, when was the last time we had that conversation about a Colts defense?
Right.
And then you add in the pass rush. Man, I cannot wait for this game. Let's go.
Yep. Rodgers does have the speed, Tom. There's no question about that. But as Loyalist kind of alluded to, he's like 5'10", okay, compared to like a 6'2", Facyson, who is really better as an all-around cornerback. He can cover just about everybody. Are you going to put Brandon on Tyreek? No, that's when you're going to drop Rodgers in there and go cover him.
Yeah.
All right, put your hand on him, because Brandon would have to like climb on his back as a backpack, lock arms, around his neck, and then hold on for dear life. But no, like I said, they're interchangeable. Rodgers does have the speed, but he does tend to. Oh, my poor cat! Quit scratching. I'm sorry, guys. My cat I need to take my cat to the vet, but I don't have the money to take him to the vet. And he's ripped all of his fur off all the way around his neck now. It's just blood everywhere. And there ain't nothing I can do about it. Trying. Anyhow, I'm sorry. It's my inner self sitting there looking at him. He was sleeping and then woke up, started scratching again.
So you're sort of feeling like the Texans are when they look at their roster.
Yeah.
That's sad. Okay.
All right, guys. It is 52 minutes in. I'm going to go take a cold rag to my cat and clean him up a little bit as best as I can. Put some ear mite meds on him, spray him down with my half apple cider vinegar, half water, in hopes to kill those dermatics that he's got and take care of him. But guys, please smash that like button and hit subscribe if you're not subscribed. Tag that notification bell so that you're notified next time we go live. I'm definitely doing a live stream this Sunday for the game, live game reaction. So you don't want to miss that. Again, Tom and Tracy, appreciate the $5 dono. Thank you so much. And until next time, I'm Lawrence Owen. That's Loyalist, and as usual, have a good one.
Just because a player's not a household name doesn't mean we can't make him a household name.
Is Big Grove going to be that guy? Is DeForest Buckner going to be that guy? Are we going to have 4 guys on the defensive line? Oh, my goodness. That'd be so nasty. Have a good one.